All right, today what we're going to take a look at is we're going to go over some very basic, very simple upper body vertical pressing and vertical pulling exercises. So when we get our grip on the bar, we always want to make sure that we're exactly the same on each side. So I always recommend using your thumb as a reference or something like that. We don't want to go too wide and we don't want to go too narrow. So I always go thumb distance away from the edge of the grip part or the knurling. Okay, we're going to come up underneath, unrack the bar, nice and tall, tuck your belly button in tight, elbows should be right underneath the barbell. We're going to press up and finish your movement over top of your head. Okay, bring it right down to about just below your chin and repeat. Okay. One of the mistakes that a lot of people make, usually it's a result of a lack of shoulder mobility, is they don't finish the movement properly. They don't finish completely overhead. So when we finish this movement, we want the barbell to be right over top of the ears. So we want to get that extra little bit of push. Okay. Another thing that you'll see with poor mobility in the shoulders is that the torso will really stick out, and people will they'll instinctively try and find the easiest path possible and arch the rib cage up, and it'll look kind of like this, right? Kind of like an incline bench press. So we want to keep everything nice and vertical and get that full press so that the bicep is in line with the ear. That's how you finish the movement. Okay, so with the single arm dumbbell press, it's pretty simple. Grab one dumbbell, hold it in one hand, make sure that you're stable and you're able to press that dumbbell up and over the head where the bicep ends, even with the ears. Remember, we want to complete the movement. We want to make sure that we get a full press. And that bicep next to the ears is your indicator that you've finished the movement. Going off of one of the other videos that we did, utilizing a simple rubber band that some of you may have, we want to talk about some vertical pressing movements using this band. So there's two variations we're going to go over right now. One is a little bit easier, one is a little bit more difficult. We're going to start out in a half kneeling position. Right? We're going to take the knee, put it right on the band, up nice and tall in a half kneeling position. Okay? This hip should be fully extended so everything's nice and tall and stacked. We're going to bring this band right here, press straight up and back. Make sure you get that full vertical press so your bicep is right next to your ear, and bring it back. Okay? If we want to increase the intensity of this, we want to stretch the band a little bit more. So I'm just going to stand up, put the arch of my foot right on the band, and do the exact same movement. Now I'm stretching the band. Now there's just a little bit more resistance. Remember, the farther you stretch the band, the more resistance you're going to have. Okay, so now we're going to touch on some vertical pulling exercises. We're going to go in a bit of a progression, easiest to most difficult. And then I'm going to throw in on the end a band-resisted exercise that you can actually do on your own, or there's another way to do it with a partner. One of the big issues that we see with a lot of tactical athletes in general, regardless of where they come from, is a big difference in their ability to press vertically relative to their ability to pull vertically. So we're going to start out with the easiest progression. We're going to take the band, we're going to put the foot over top of the band, cross over, reach up, grab your pull-up bar, and execute your pull-ups. Because the band is on quite a bit of a stretch, it's providing me with a lot of assistance. Next progression, we're going to go straight to the knee. Now the band is not being stretched as much, so it's not providing me with the same amount of assistance. But each and every time, I'm returning to a full straight arm position with a bit of a pause. Obviously, the next progression is just body weight. Again, returning to a full straight arm position, making myself re-engage that pulling movement from a full straight arm position, which is very similar to what you'll see with the ACFT knee tuck. Next progression, we're going to add some resistance. So we're adding an external load, 25 pounds plus my body weight. Once again, returning to that full straight arm position, getting a full pull and a full reach. With the band, we're going to attach the band to a kettlebell handle. I'm going to use the kettlebell to step up, okay? And that band is providing me with a resistance. Because it's a band and the dynamics of how that works, the resistance is greater at the top of the movement. Most of the time when you see somebody throwing vertical pulling into their training session, it's with a lot of reps. They're trying to get as many reps as possible. And that's great, but that's not strength training, okay? That's more muscular endurance and or hypertrophy, okay? Most tactical athletes, most athletes in general, they're not adding any extra weight, which is what they should be doing. So if you're maxing out at 5 reps and that's it, that's strength training for you. But if you're maxing out at 20 to 25, that's not strength training, okay? You have a good base vertical pulling strength, but you need to add some additional weight.